Hi, my name is Jason. This is my family, and we love to travel to the beach, or the lake,
in the forest, on the coast,
to the mountains, and even deep underground. I hope you come along as we travel all around our home state of California, the greater United States, and beyond. We invite you to come join us as we go exploring. Well, we are hitting the road again for another big road trip in our RV. On this adventure, we are taking 2 weeks to drive through the Southwest. We're covering over 3,000 miles, visiting 9 national parks in 5 different states, and hitting some other interesting things along the way. We're going to spend the night in Death Valley. Trek along a little bit of Route 66 into the Kingman and Hackberry. We'll do a little stop by the Grand Canyon on our way to Wahweap Campground at Lake Powell. We're going to camp out on the edge of a gorge at Gooseneck State Park in Utah. We might try to do some hiking in the cliffs of Mesa Verde National Park, or we might not. But we will definitely see the cliffs of the Black Canyon in Colorado. The highlight of this trip is going to be our hike to the Delicate Arch in Arches National Park. We're also going to be staying the night in not just one, but in 2 different national park campgrounds. We'll park the RV and take a bus ride at one of the most popular national parks. And we'll make one last stop at our favorite place to visit in California before heading home. So grab a seat, come along with us as we explore the Southwest in our RV. From our home in the Central Valley of California to Stovepipe Wells Campground in Death Valley, it's just over 450 miles and an 8-hour plus drive. Luckily for us, we can time-lapse that drive in this video, and it'll only take a few minutes. It is a beautiful drive through the mountains and into the high desert of California though, so let's enjoy the ride and the scenery for a little while. At least until the sun sets. We got such a late start that we had to stop for dinner on the way and had to drive the last few hours in the dark. And we didn't end up getting to our campground until nearly 11 o'clock at night, so we didn't get to see much of Death Valley on the way in. We also ended up not camping at Stovepipe Wells, opting instead to go on ahead to Furnace Creek Campground by the Visitor Center. It was still 90 degrees at 11 o'clock at night, and we wanted electrical hookups so we could run the AC. In the morning, you could see that the RV park was pretty empty, and although Death Valley is pretty desolate, there's plenty of life in the desert. The RV park was surrounded by these trees all around, and the wind blowing through them sounded really cool. If I can hide the microphone from the wind, see if you can hear the wind in this tree. It almost sounds like the ocean. The only animals I spotted were some lizards, like this little guy that I saw on a rock, sunning himself in the morning sun. Where are we?
Death Valley Visitor Center.
At the visitor center, they had signs everywhere warning people to keep hydrated, which Kira took very seriously. Like I said, they were very serious about warnings of the heat and staying hydrated. Inside the visitor center, Jack got his every 4th grader in a park pass that we had printed out exchanged for the plastic pass card. The park ranger even gave him a lanyard to carry it with. Checked out this raised relief map which showed the different parts of the park and figured out where we wanted to go. The gift shop had the usual shirts, stuffed animals, and knick-knack, and oh yeah, more signs about staying hydrated. I guess I finally was convinced to get some water. The exhibits in the visitor center had all kinds of information about native peoples, light pollution, the geology, and the flora and the fauna of the desert. Some of the exhibits were interactive so the kids could play with them. On our way out of the park, we stopped at Badwater Basin, the lowest point in North America at 282 feet below sea level. The spring-fed pool here is undrinkable because of the high salinity, thus giving the basin its name. However, there is still life in the pool, including plant life and the Badwater snail, which is found only here in Badwater Basin. The basin itself is covered with a thin layer of salt, which can be dangerous to trek out onto. We also made one last stop at Zabriskie Point, where there was yet another sign warning about the dangers of the heat, and a story about how Vol Nolan died in Death Valley in 1931, a victim of the elements. This may or may not be a true story. Zabriskie Point is a lookout on the eastern entrance to Death Valley. It is named after Christian Zabriskie, who was the general manager of the Pacific Coast Borax Company in the early 20th century. The company was famous for using 20 mule team wagons to transport borax out of the valley from its mining operations. It was a bit of a hike, up the path to the lookout point. But it was well worth it, because the lookout provides some breathtaking views of the surrounding Badlands, and in the distance, the valley floor. What a view! What do you think of Death Valley?
Awesome.
Not as hot as I thought it would be. Yeah. Palm Springs. Alright, let's go. Well, that's it for Death Valley. We barely even touched this part, so I hope we can come back someday and see more of it.